Is there anything to that in your view?
Yeah, I've been looking at that subject for a long, long time. Because there's one half of us is animalistic, and the other half is a spiritual being, and that's always been the big question. Throughout time, there's always been a question as to whether we humans are a physical entity that has a spirit, or whether originally we are a spirit that is now inhabiting a physical body. Which one is it? And I think that this is what's happening, what you're seeing around the world, and especially in this country, are people are losing their souls. And I think there's probably something to this idea that you can sell your soul to the devil, so to speak. Because I think there is some kind of an agreement that you make to give over yourself to the world and become like the world. And so I think there is something to this idea that you can sell your soul, because this is what exactly has happened in America. The human race in America has virtually sold its soul. There is no longer any need to be an individual.
And the deal maker is the media. It's television all around the world. It doesn't matter what country you're in, because the same basic things are being sold to people, and in exchange the return is obedience, obeisance,
that's right,
and ultimately hegemony by the powers that are controlling them. That's why the Chinese wanted a television in every home by the year 2001. That's the main weapon of subjugation of the human soul.
It's right. You're right. And you can see by their fruits you shall know them. Well, look at the fruitage of America's entertainment and television industry. Look at the fruitage. Go down to Hollywood Boulevard at 2 o'clock in the morning. Look at the fruitage. Walk across America and see the kind of problems that this society is having with drugs and violence and gang wars and all kinds of stuff.
So they're terminal problems is what they are.
Yeah.
I don't see them as being curable because the powers that be don't want them to be cured.
Well, that's another thing, too. I've always said, and I believe, that what is happening with us in this country is what the government wants. I don't think that they want us to live peacefully, because people who live peacefully begin to study and read and educate themselves and become, higher-minded. But in order to keep us where they want us, they present pictures of us on television as Beavis and Butthead and The Simpsons and all kinds of trashy stuff to imply that this is what your society is supposed to be like.
Insidious,
who
isn't
you
it?
are.
Just incredible.
Again, like I've said, it's a complete destruction of our Western civilization in order to prepare us to go into a new world order in which there will be no freedom left, period. There won't be any discussion about liberty, freedom, justice, the law, nothing. You will do what you're told to do, and there will be a totalitarian dictatorship, and we are in it now. Unfortunately, the people don't see it. And they never do see it until it's too late.
And
that's what I've been trying to do for the past 48 years, is to awaken people to how these people really work. And once you understand how the system actually, in fact, works, you can really see it for the first time that you've been had. You've been lied to and deceived from day one.
By sociopaths who have no morality and laugh at morality on this side as weakness. They mock it.
Again, I go back to the book I have. It's called Priesthood of the Ilies. It's 3 typewritten manuscripts that I found many years ago. I was selling it many years ago, but it's extraordinary stuff, showing where the Romans got words, how they came up with these words in Latin for humans, and what these words meant, and how they were brought into our laws in the Middle Ages, and how these people who are in power think about us, what the words mean, what the terms and the symbols mean. And look at the rest of the institutions in this country. You've got, we have cage fighting, just like the Romans did in the last days of the empire. We have the cage fighters or the martial arts, and everything on television today is dedicated to either fighting, killing, military, wrestling, prize fights. It's just a menagerie of violence, bloodshed that America has wrapped itself up in.
It's going in the opposite direction to intellectual enlightenment and advancement. It's going back up in the trees.
That's right. And then we're seeing it now. We're seeing the effects of it with fighting now in the streets around the world. There's a lot of violence now.
Right.
Well, of course, the people have been fed this violence for so long. And, of course, this country is just completely gone with the drugs and violence and the mayhem that's going on. I don't know how much longer the empire is going to exist. I really don't.
We are in the
I'm very afraid for the future.
We're in the last days of it. What will come out of it, of course, will be what the controllers want. They run their supercomputer models. They know exactly how to orchestrate it.
That's right.
And they'll have what they want.
They always have.
Barring some kind of a miracle that I can't even conceive of.
You know, I get so many people asking me, they call or email me and ask me, well, where do I start to research this kind of material? And so I asked them, I said, well, why don't you start with my website? And they said, oh, yeah, I've been to your website. And I said, well, did you go to the research materials? No, we didn't see that. And I said, well, what about the links? Did you go to the links? No. Did you go to the audio video? No. I said, well, what have you gone to? Well, we saw your picture on the home page. We saw your picture. And then they call and ask me to show them how to study, where to go for the information.
They want you to do the work
right there. I mean, just look on my website.
They don't want to do the work.
I don't know what to say. I mean,
I know it is mind-boggling.
I've got about 5 different friends who are absolute masters at the use of words in law and commerce, and it's just an extraordinary story of the hidden words and terms that banks use, that governments use in relation to money. And
you must feel like you're from another planet now.
Yeah, it's such an extraordinary story that when I'm talking about this to audiences, I can tell they're looking at me, but they're not understanding a word I'm saying.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it has nothing to do with sports. So what the hell is this guy talking about? You know, I'm talking about money is water.
Yeah.
And it's based on your body, and your body's over 90% water.
Mm-hmm.
So you are a maritime admiralty product. And once you understand that, then you begin to see how money actually works. That's a whole story, and I think I've talked with you about it on occasion.
Oh, it always merits repeating, Jordan. The average person, even people who try, have a 50% memory loss overnight, and at the end of 5 or 6 days, it's 95+%.
Well, yeah, you're right there.
So don't ever worry about repeating something which seems old hat to you, because it's new. Even if someone's heard it 6 months or 3 months or 2 weeks ago, they'll hear it again better.
Well, you're right.
Sports teams, of course, are warfare in microcosm. Our army is going to go beat your army. It doesn't matter whether it's football, basketball, baseball. This is warfare sanitized and brought back to the atavistic side of humankind. And people not only adopt these teams as their favorites, but they become actually a significant and substantial part of their entire persona, which is pretty damn scary when you think about it.
Oh, yeah, well, with the video games that are purposely designed to bring the human mind into a state of thinking, so that's the way you live. You live the whole world as a video game. And nothing is real. There's a great book out on that. I have it under my research button. In the middle of the research page, it'll say recommended books and materials. There's a book in there that's extraordinarily important. It's called 4 Arguments for the Elimination of Television by Jerry Mandis. And
I had Jerry on the program years ago. Terrific book.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Explains how the human brain works in relation to television and how these people put this stuff together purposely and designed it. It's an incredible story.